Well, the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry believes Labor's carbon reduction target is slipping out of reach. The government is aiming to reduce emissions by 43% of 2005 levels by 2030. But the Chamber doesn't believe that's going to be achievable. Joining us live now is Andrew McKellar. So good to see you, Andrew. So I put the question to you before the break. Are you having this come to Jesus moment now where these targets are kind of pointless because they're never achieved?
Well, morning, Pete. Great to be with you. Look, I wouldn't say they're pointless at all. Obviously, we do need to have ambitious targets, and we, along with other business groups, supported the government when they nailed their colours to the mast when they went for the 43% target out to 2030. Look, it is looking increasingly challenging to get to that number, so I think that's important, and we need to take stock of where we're going to be in 2030. Later this year, the government will be setting a target for 2035. Business thinks that needs to be ambitious, but it needs to be realistic as well, because otherwise we're going to flatten the economy.
Right. So what do you have a number in mind this time that you would support, Andrew?
Well, look, that's something we're working on. What we've seen is we've seen the Climate Change Authority saying that a target of somewhere in the range of 65% to 75% is I think the sort of band that they're looking at. We think that would be exceedingly challenging. We're doing some work with other business groups to see where we think the numbers more realistically should be. And obviously we'll have more to say about that. Right. We're looking to see when the Climate Change Authority produces its recommendations to government.
But like we've seen in the past now, Andrew, I mean, if Labor sets a new target, wouldn't history suggest that it's just not going to be reached? And later leaders won't be around to be held accountable anyway. So why get behind it?
Look, I think, and look, we won't necessarily. We will only support something that's realistic, that's affordable for the Australian economy. I think one of the issues at the moment for business is that there are so many different programs, measures, policies in place relating to climate change. We've got to simplify that. We've got to streamline that. Business has been strangled by red tape and regulation at the moment. And that's an issue that we've got to address.
Yeah, I mean, yet for a country that's responsible for just 1% of global emissions, do you factor that into your thinking at all?
Oh, look, we've got to be part of a global push, and business supports certainty here. So, we are part of the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Business supports that, but we've got to be realistic about the contribution that we can make. There's no point driving our economy into the ground. Energy is the big part of this, and getting affordable energy prices for the future for business and for households, that's a key thing.
Well, Matt Canavan was obviously very interested in your push today. We had him on the program a little earlier, and he's got energy right at the top of the list as to why productivity is so marginal in this country. Do you agree with him?
Look, I think there are some things that I agree with him on and some that I wouldn't.
These high energy bills, his point is these high energy bills are hampering business, so they can't expand because the bills are too big.
Oh, look, there's no doubt energy is absolutely a critical issue. We don't think we should tie one arm behind our back. Obviously, renewables are going to be a central part of the solution going forward. We've got to get that investment in place. The transmission is extremely expensive. That's why we've got to have things like gas, capacity in the short term. And we know on the East Coast, we've got a major problem in relation to gas. So, we think we've got to provide that as part of the solution.
We do. Just a final note here. Just looking across at what the CBA is going to be pitching to this round table when it happens, Andrew, it doesn't think, though, that company tax rates should be dropped. Rather, there should be wealth taxes, there should be super caps, plus an increase in the GST, a broadening of the GST. What are your thoughts on what the CBA's come up with?
Oh, look, we're looking at their submission. It's one of many. We'll put our own submission in. Look, the focus has got to be absolutely productivity. What is going to drive productivity in the future? We would say that a critical part of that is business investment. You've got to have investment in plant and equipment, capital deepening if you're going to boost productivity. Now, to do that, we've got to make sure we are internationally competitive. Our company tax rates are not internationally competitive at the moment. They're at 30% in the US. They're going, to 21% and lower. So I think we've got to look at that.
Yeah, that was a big part of Donald Trump's re-election campaign to drop that to 16%. Incredible. Thank you, Andrew. Good to see you as always. We'll chat to you again soon.